guys, today I thought I would share with you all my favorite TV shows because I feel like if you like books like me, you probably like TV and movies. At least some of you do. I'm a huge movie and TV buff myself, so I thought that this would be really fun because I love watching television shows. So I have a list here of my favorites and probably like my top favorites of all time, and then I may mention a couple of other ones at the end that I really like but that I may not watch as frequently. And I'm going to stick to actual like fictional TV shows, like a series today versus reality TV. I do like to watch like a lot of the Food Network and stuff like that, and a lot of like the A&E shows like Storage Wars and stuff, but I thought I would just focus on actual TV series today. So I'm excited. I hope you guys like this, and I'm going to just jump right in. Okay, the first TV show I want to talk about today is no longer on air. This is an older show. I believe it came out in 2003, and it had 4 seasons, and I think it may have ended in 2006. And I absolutely love the show. I used to say this was my all-time favorite show of all time, and it still is one of my favorite shows, and I just absolutely love it. And that is the OC, which stands for Orange County, because this show is set in Newport Beach, California, which is in Orange County. So if you haven't seen this show, you should definitely go back and watch it if you like teen kind of shows, like what I call like teenage soap operas, because it's so good. I absolutely love it. It has great actors in it. It has Adam Brody and Benjamin McKenzie and Rachel Bilson and Misha Barton, and then a bunch of other really great people as well. So I absolutely love it, and it's just a fantastic show. And basically what this is about is this character right here is Benjamin McKenzie. His character is Ryan Atwood, who plays like a delinquent teenager. He's 17 years old, and he's kind of on the wrong side of the tracks. He comes from a very kind of poor, bad area of California called Chino, and he is in some trouble, so he gets a public defender, which is this guy who is from Orange County and lives in this wealthy community with his wife and his kid and all of this stuff. So he defends him, and then they end up bringing Ryan home to stay with them because he has nowhere to go. And then he ends up, long story short, moving in with them after like 2 or 3 episodes. So that's not really spoiling anything if you want to watch, but it's so good. It basically just goes through like the lives of these kids and just various kind of problems and experiences that they go through. And it's in California, which I love because I think this show has started like my obsession with California. Ever since I started watching this, I have always wanted to visit and go to California, and I never have. And now I'm at the point where I would love to move there one day. Maybe it'll happen for me, but this is definitely one of my favorite shows of all time, and I love it. The next one I have is probably tied with that one in terms of what my favorite show is. If I had to pick a favorite show now, this one would probably be it. I have another one that would be tied too, but that is The Vampire Diaries. I love this show. I've been watching it since it came out 2 or 3 years ago, I think, and I love it, and it's very, very good. It's not just a vampire show that's like a love triangle. There definitely is romance to it, and these 3 characters do have an interesting, complex love triangle together, but it's a very interesting show because it has a lot of more depth, if you will. Like, there's a lot going on in this show. It's more complex. There's a lot of other characters that I really like as well, and it has a lot of history, and they just throw in a lot of plot twists, and they always have cliffhangers at the end of the seasons. So I love this show, and the 5th season comes back this fall. So if you haven't watched this, then you should definitely hurry up and watch the first 4 seasons so that you can catch up on the 5th. The next one I have, a lot of you probably watch as well, and that is Pretty Little Liars. I love this show, and I'm actually not caught up with the current season right now, but I love this. It's so good, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with what it's about, even if you don't watch it, but it's basically centered around these 4 girls whose best friend Allison died back when the show started 2 years previously. So they all come back, and then they start getting these weird text messages and threats from a person named A, and they try to figure out who it is and whether it's Allison and whether she died and all of this stuff. And it's just a very kind of like complex and mind confusing series, if that makes sense. Kind of creepy sometimes too. Like, I get scared. Like, I'll be honest, you guys, if I watch this at night in the dark and it's like a creepy episode, like, I for real will get freaked out. Like, especially last season, if you watch the show and you're up to date, last season, like the very end, like the last 2 episodes were so good of this show, and they were so scary. I was like freaking out in my bed. But definitely check this out if you haven't watched it and you like, again, like most of these shows are like the teenagey ones, but definitely check it out. I love it. It's very, very good, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. Last physical one I have to show you as far as like what I own is Gossip Girl, and I haven't actually finished Gossip Girl. I have like the first 5 seasons of this on DVD, because I usually wait and Target will put all of these shows on sale, so you usually can score them for $5 to $15. But I have all of these, and I've only watched the first 3 seasons, but I love this show. It is so good. If you have not watched it, it is a lot like the OC but for New York. So it's centered around the Upper East Side and all of these wealthy, rich kind of teenagers, and it just talks about their life and their high school and kind of like the high society. There's a lot of fashion and stuff, which I really like. So this is a great show if you've never watched it, and it is based off of the books, which I actually have a couple of back here. So if you read the books, then I would say check this out. It was funny because I used to read the books and then I started watching this and I didn't like it. But once you get to the very end of this season, it gets very, very good. So if you started watching it and you weren't crazy about it, then go back and watch it again because you might like it better. So highly recommend this. A couple more that I don't actually have copies to show you guys that I will maybe insert a picture of or something. But the first one is Nikita, which is on the CW, and this is about a girl named Nikita who was a part of a government black ops program called Division, who were like responsible for taking out bad guys and doing all of these missions and killing people and stuff. But then Nikita kind of figures out that what they're doing isn't right and it's not morally ethical and all of this stuff, so she decides to leave Division and she plots to hunt them down and to take them down and all of this stuff. So it's her against them, but she's really smart and she's very capable of what she's doing. She's, you know, one of their best trained agents who left, and she's kind of a badass, excuse my French, but that's kind of like the best way to describe her, and she's just a really cool character. And then the series kind of progresses on over the couple of seasons, so I love it. It's still on air too, so if you want to watch it, it's still on. Next 2 I have are older and no longer being aired, but are still really good. So the first one was on it was on ABC Family a couple years back, and it was Wildfire. It's about a girl and a horse named Wildfire, and she moves in on this ranch and lives with a kind of family. She's an ex-criminal kind of, and she's a really good character, and it talks about her kind of bonding with the horse, and there's some romance and stuff involved. So it's a really good show, very feel good, and I just like it a lot. So check that out if you would like that kind of plot. And then the last one I have is Smallville, which I just started watching this kind of summer. I've been watching it for the past couple of months just because I had a random urge to start watching it. So it's about Superman and Clark Kent, although I haven't really gotten to the part where he becomes Superman, but it's about him in Smallville and his parents, and I really like it. It's a good show. Tom Welling plays Clark Kent, and then I love the character of Lex Luthor, who is Michael Rosenbaum. He's absolutely hilarious, and I never read the comics or anything, but I've seen a couple of the Superman movies and stuff, and I always like the comic book movies and that kind of thing, and I think that he does a great job with Lex Luthor. I've never, like I said, read the comic, but I love him and he's really funny, so I definitely would recommend checking that out if you like action kind of shows and Superman, because it's really good. They're pretty much the basis of what I have. Now, as far as a couple of other shows that I just really like that I thought I would mention, but that I don't really watch as much and that aren't like my favorites, I really love Gilmore Girls. I used to watch it all the time. It's a great show. That 70s show is hilarious. I would always come home and watch it after school. I love it. I really like Entourage, which is an HBO show. It's a little bit more mature, but it's a good show. And then I like Sex and the City, which is another HBO show that I love. It's an old show too, but it's definitely a great show. If you're a girl, you'll like it. And I think that's all I have, so I just thought I would add in a couple of my other favorites. I think that's all. I've probably forgotten some that I really like, and I will probably remember them later and cringe, but that's all for today. I hope you guys liked this kind of different video. Definitely let me know below what your favorite TV shows are and what you think I should watch if I haven't mentioned it here, because I have a list of shows that I want to watch, but I would be curious to know what you guys like as well, so I can check those out too. So I guess that's all for today. I hope you guys are doing very well, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye guys!